I sit at my mother's kitchen table, tracing the familiar wood grain patterns with my fingertip while the December sunlight filters through lace curtains. Mom's house already smells like cinnamon and pine, her early Christmas preparations filling every corner. The ceramic Santa collection watches me from the mantel, their painted eyes seeming to follow my movements. My sister Veronica leans against the counter, laughing too loudly at something her husband Brian has said. Their children, Ethan and Lila, race through the yard outside, their breath visible in the cold air. I watch them through the window, momentarily lost in the simple joy of their play. Barbara will be handling our Christmas catering this year. My mother's voice cuts through the kitchen chatter. The room falls silent as every head turns toward me. I freeze, my coffee cup halfway to my lips. What? The word slips out before I can stop it. Mom smooths her cardigan and smiles with the practiced ease of someone who has just executed a perfect ambush. Well, you make plenty of money as a data analyst, so of course you'll handle it. The whole family will be grateful. Heat crawls up my neck as I calculate the numbers in my head. 4 aunts, 3 uncles, all their children, plus immediate family, 27 people at minimum. The catering service Mom favors charges $85 per person. That's $2,295 plus tax. My savings account throbs like a fresh bruise. Uncle Ray nods appreciatively. Always knew Barbara would be the one to step up for family. Aunt Patricia beams at me. So generous of you, dear. We're blessed to have you. I open my mouth, but no words emerge. The trap has been perfectly set. Objecting now would make me the villain of Christmas. Veronica swoops in with practiced timing. How wonderful. See how my little sister takes care of us all? Always the responsible one. Our eyes lock for a moment. There's something there, triumph? Relief that she's not the target? I can't tell. I had rushed home from work after Veronica texted that she wanted to stop by. I remember unlocking my apartment door, stepping inside, and stopping cold. Not just Ethan and Lila, but 2 children I'd never seen before sprawled across my living room floor, surrounded by open snack packages and scattered toys. Oh good, you're home. Veronica had grabbed her purse before I could even set down my laptop bag. My friend Jane needed help too. You don't mind, right? They're all fed. Just need entertaining until 8. Wait, I'd started, but she was already halfway out the door. Thanks, Barb. You're a lifesaver. My pristine apartment transformed into chaos within minutes. The smallest child, Jane's son, had nearly tumbled down the stairs while I was cleaning spilled juice in the kitchen. I caught him with 1 second to spare, my heart hammering against my ribs. Barbara? Mom's voice pulls me back to the present. Don't you have anything to say? I swallow hard, remembering Jasmine's words over coffee last week. Her dark eyes had narrowed as I recounted the babysitting incident. They're using you, Barb. If you don't set boundaries now, they never will. I'd stirred my latte, watching the cinnamon swirl into the foam. But they're family. Jasmine had leaned forward, her voice lowered but intense. Family doesn't treat family like free labor. I hadn't responded, but Ethan's innocent comment from that babysitting disaster echoed in my head. Mom says you're not busy, so you have to play with us all day. Barbara? Mom prompts again, her tone sharpening. Everyone watches, waiting for my grateful acceptance of this opportunity to serve them. 20 pairs of eyes, all expecting the same thing. The room feels too warm, too small. Yes. The words taste bitter. I can take care of it. Mom's smile widens. Wonderful. The caterer needs a $1,400 deposit by tomorrow. I blink. Tomorrow? Well, it's Christmas, dear. Everything books up. I've already called them. They're holding the spot for us. She slides a checkbook toward me. You can just write it now, and I'll drop it off on my way to Bridge Club. My hand trembles slightly as I write the check. The amount feels enormous, consuming the bonus I'd planned to use for a weekend trip to Aspen. As I tear the check free, Mom plucks it from my fingers with practiced efficiency. She exchanges a quick glance with Veronica that sends a chill through me. I watch her fold the check neatly into her wallet, and suddenly it hits me like a physical blow. This doesn't feel like family helping family. This feels like something else entirely. Next morning, I arrive at my parents' brick colonial an hour earlier than planned, hoping to discuss menu options with Mom before the catering deposit becomes final. The morning frost crunches beneath my boots as I follow the stone path to the side entrance, the kitchen door we always use instead of the formal front entry. The spare key sits in its hiding place beneath the stone rabbit statue. I consider knocking, then decide against it. Mom knows I'm coming, and Dad is probably still at his dental practice. No need for formalities. I slip inside quietly, the familiar sense of cinnamon, potpourri, and furniture polish wrapping around me like an old sweater. Voices drift from the kitchen, Mom's animated tone carrying through the hallway. "We'll put all 9 kids upstairs in the playroom with Barbara," she says, her voice light with amusement. "She can handle them while the adults enjoy downstairs." I freeze mid-step, one hand still on the doorknob. The cold metal bites into my palm. Laughter follows Mom's distinctive, high-pitched giggle that always accompanies her cleverer schemes. She won't say no, she never does. My stomach drops as if I've missed a stair in the dark. I press my hand over my mouth to keep from making a sound, though part of me wants to storm into the kitchen and confront her. And she's already paid for everything. Mom continues, pride evident in her voice. $2,300 for the whole spread. Henry was worried she might back out when she saw the final tally, but I told him she'd never disappoint family. The words strike like physical blows. This was never about contributing to a family gathering. It was about using me as both financier and childcare provider. The perfect Christmas servant. I back away silently, careful not to let the old floorboards creak beneath my weight. Through the narrow hallway window, I spot a car in the driveway I hadn't noticed before. Aunt Patricia's silver sedan. Of course, the co-conspirator. Outside, the winter air slaps my face, but I barely register the cold. I slide into my car, fumbling twice with the keys before getting them into the ignition. Tears blur my vision as I grip the steering wheel, knuckles white against the black leather. The first tear falls as I turn out of the driveway. Then another. Then a flood. I pull over 3 blocks away, into the empty parking lot of a seasonal Christmas tree stand. My hands shake as I reach for my phone. Jasmine answers on the second ring. "Hey, what's up? Aren't you meeting with your mom about the catering?" They're using me. The words come out broken, unfamiliar to my own ears. They planned it. The money, the babysitting, all of it. "Oh, Barb." Her voice softens. "What happened?" I explain in bursts of half sentences, the story spilling out between shaky breaths. "I've been inviting you to our cabin Christmas for years," Jasmine says when I finish. "This is your sign to finally say yes. Mark and I leave Tuesday. We'll drive you no arguments. I couldn't impose on your family holiday." "Impose? Barbara, listen to yourself. You're welcome there, and Tom will be there too." Her voice takes on a teasing lilt. "He's been asking about you." My cheeks warm despite everything. Tom, Jasmine's college friend with the thoughtful eyes and quiet laugh. We've met at a few gatherings over the years, but never without the buffer of mutual friends. "I'll think about it," I say, but even as the words leave my mouth, I know my decision is made. 20 minutes later, I sit in my apartment's tiny kitchen, phone pressed to my ear. Serendipity Catering. This is Rachel. "Hi, Rachel. I'm calling about a Christmas order under Barbara Ramos. My voice sounds steadier than I feel. I need to cancel." A pause. "Let me check that for you." Keys click in the background. "Yes, I have your order here. Christmas Day service for 27 guests. $1,400 deposit received yesterday." That's the one. "I should let you know our cancellation policy." Her tone shifts to the practiced cadence of someone reading from a script. "With less than 14 days' notice, we can only refund the balance, minus the deposit and a $300 fee." I close my eyes. $1,100 back from $2,300, $1,200 lost, $1,200, 3 months of car payments, half a month's rent. Mom's laughter echoes in my ears. "She won't say no, she never does." "That's fine," I say. "I'll take the refund. We can process that back to your original payment method. Would you like to book a different date instead?" "No, thank you. This won't be rescheduled." A brief hesitation before Rachel responds, her professional tone softening. "Family holidays can be tough. I'm sorry." The simple acknowledgement nearly breaks me again. "Thank you for understanding." That evening, my phone buzzes with notifications. 6 missed calls from Mom about menu choices. 3 from Veronica, 1 from Dad. A text from Dad appears. Your mother needs your input on the catering. I stare at the screen, thumb hovering over the keyboard. The familiar pull of obligation tugs at me, the lifetime habit of smoothing things over, making everyone else comfortable at my own expense. Not this time. I type carefully. I've canceled the catering. I won't be attending Christmas this year. The response is immediate. My phone erupts with incoming calls, Mom, Dad, Veronica, in rapid succession. I silence each one. My finger hovers over Gloria's contact, then Veronica's, then Dad's. With 3 deliberate taps, I block them all. The silence that follows feels enormous, terrifying, freeing. I sink onto my sofa. The Christmas tree I'd set up in the corner, now a reminder of a holiday I'd planned to spend elsewhere. The colored lights blink in slow rhythm, painting patterns on the ceiling. For the first time in years, I have no idea what Christmas will bring. For the first time in years, it feels like a gift. On Tuesday, the Utah mountains rise like guardians around the cabin, their snow-capped peaks glowing rose gold in the late afternoon Sunday. I stand on the wooden porch, my breath visible in the crisp December air, and something inside me unfurls like a tightly wound spring finally released. Barbara. Jasmine waves from the doorway, her dark curls bouncing beneath a red knit cap. Stop admiring the scenery and get in here before you freeze. I hoist my weekend bag higher on my shoulder and crunch through fresh snow toward the entrance. The cabin is twice the size I expected, rustic luxury with exposed timber beams and floor-to-ceiling windows that frame the mountainside like living paintings. Inside, warmth envelops me immediately, not just from the crackling fireplace that dominates one wall, but from the genuine smiles of the 4 people gathered in the great room. Mark, Jasmine's husband, takes my bag with a wink. The runaway has arrived, he announces, and everyone laughs. Not at me, but with me. The difference is palpable. A tall man with kind eyes and sandy hair steps forward. You must be Barbara. I'm Tom. His handshake is firm, his smile reaching his eyes. I've heard so much about you. All lies, I joke automatically, then pause, surprised by my own lightness. When was the last time I made a joke without calculating its reception? Only the good parts, Tom replies, and something flutters in my chest. Dinner that night feels like a scene from someone else's life. We sit around a large oak table, passing dishes family style, conversations overlapping. No one interrupts me when I speak. No one asks me to get up 6 times to fetch forgotten items. No one eyes my wine glass with disapproval when I pour a second serving. Barbara, would you mind chopping these carrots? Asks Ellen, Tom's cousin, as we prepare side dishes. I'm hopeless with a knife. I take the cutting board, waiting for the familiar tension to rise in my shoulders, the automatic response to requests. But it doesn't come, because Ellen actually asked. And because tomorrow, I won't be expected to cook breakfast for 9 children while everyone else sleeps in. Christmas Eve arrives with a gentle snowfall that transforms the landscape into something from a storybook. I sit cross-legged by the fireplace, watching flames dance while Bing Crosby croons from hidden speakers. Secret family recipe time, Tom announces, setting 2 mugs on the coffee table before sitting beside me. My grandmother's eggnog. Fair warning, it's potent. The mug warms my palms as I take a careful sip. Creamy richness with notes of nutmeg, cinnamon, and a definite kick of bourbon. This is incredible, I say truthfully. Your grandmother was a genius. Tom grins. Want to learn how to make it? It's actually pretty simple. In my mother's kitchen, cooking is a performance, an opportunity to demonstrate superiority or assign blame when something goes wrong. Here, in this cabin with near strangers, Tom patiently shows me how to temper eggs without scrambling them, his shoulder occasionally brushing mine as we work side by side. The secret, he confides, is using real vanilla beans and letting the mixture rest overnight. He looks at me with mock seriousness. Can I trust you with this family secret? I laugh, and the sound surprises me with its freedom. Your secret is safe with me. Later, while Christmas carols play softly and conversations hum around me, I catch myself thinking, this is how holidays should feel. Collaboration instead of obligation. Requests instead of demands. Joy instead of performance. Morning sunlight streams through the windows on Christmas Day, painting golden rectangles across the wooden floor. For the first time in years, I wake without a knot of dread in my stomach. After breakfast, which everyone helps prepare, gifts appear beneath the modest tree. Simple, thoughtful presents exchanged with genuine pleasure. No one keeps mental tallies of monetary value or maintains spreadsheets of who gave what to whom. While everyone settles in for board games, I slip away to quickly check my email, a professional habit I can't quite break. My stomach drops when I see the flood of unread messages and missed calls. 26 text messages from Veronica, 14 missed calls from my mother, 8 voicemails, dozens of emails with increasingly urgent subject lines. The first photo loads my mother's dining room table, elaborately set but eerily empty, followed by another of disappointed relatives in their holiday finest, standing awkwardly in the living room. A third shows children clustered around the Christmas tree, no presents visible. Veronica's text burns on the screen. 9 children crying on Christmas because of you. My mother's voicemail plays next, her voice tight with fury. How could you embarrass us like this? Everyone had to leave. Aunt Patricia drove 3 hours for nothing. Your father had to order Chinese takeout for 27 people. You've ruined everything. My hands shake slightly, but not from fear, from disbelief. No mention of the missing catering. No question about my welfare. Just accusations and blame. My phone vibrates. Dad calling. I hesitate, then answer. Barbara. His voice is controlled rage, each syllable precise. You've ruined everything. Your mother is devastated. The old Barbara would apologize, would promise to make it up to them, would already be calculating how many overtime hours she'd need to work to replace the money she wasted by not being their Christmas ATM. But that Barbara spent Christmas Eve making eggnog with a man who asked for her help rather than demanded it. I'm not your wallet, I say, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest, and I'm not your babysitter. The silence on the other end stretches so long I wonder if the call dropped. Merry Christmas, Dad, I add, then end the call and power off my phone. When I return to the living room, Tom looks up from the Scrabble board. Everything okay? I consider lying, but instead I say, family drama, nothing that can't wait. And surprisingly, I mean it. The afternoon unfolds in a blur of simple pleasures. We build ridiculous Scrabble words that send us into fits of laughter. I help baste the turkey, learning Ellen's technique for keeping the meat moist. We sing carols around the piano, my off-key contributions met with good-natured teasing rather than criticism. At dinner, Tom sits beside me, our chairs close enough that occasionally our hands brush when reaching for the salt or passing dishes. Each brief contact sends a pleasant tingle up my arm. Midnight walk? Tom suggests after everyone has finished second helpings of apple pie. The stars here are incredible. Outside, the cold air fills my lungs with crystalline clarity. The sky above us is a black velvet canvas scattered with diamonds, more stars than I've ever seen in my light-polluted Denver neighborhood. I come here every Christmas, Tom says as we crunch through snow along a well-worn path. It started when my parents divorced, and neither home felt right for the holidays. That must have been hard, I offer, watching our breath mingle in the frigid air. It was, but it taught me something important. He pauses, looking up at the constellations. Family isn't just who you're related to, it's who makes space for you to be yourself. His words settle in my chest, warm despite the December chill. Thank you, I say suddenly. Tom looks at me, questioning. For teaching me what holidays should feel like, I explain. His gloved hand finds mine, fingers intertwining. We walk in companionable silence beneath the vast Wyoming sky, and for the first time in my adult life, I feel the true meaning of peace on earth. This is what holidays should feel like, I realize. Not obligation, not performance, not financial strain, just this connection, respect, and the quiet joy of being exactly where I want to be. Back in my apartment, I place another framed photo on the wall. Jasmine, Mark, Tom, and me building a snowman outside the cabin. My fingers linger on Tom's smiling face. The mountain retreat feels both recent and distant, like a dream I'm trying to hold on to while awake. My phone chimes with a text from Tom. Coffee this weekend? A smile spreads across my face as I type. Yes. 2 weeks since Christmas, and we've talked almost daily. Nothing official yet, but something genuine growing between us. Something without expectations or demands. 3 sharp knocks at my door shatter the moment. Not the casual knock of a neighbor or the rhythmic pattern of a delivery. These are angry, insistent knocks that make my stomach tighten. I peer through the peephole and freeze. My mother stands there, flanked by my father and Veronica. Their faces are stone masks of disapproval. For one cowardly moment, I consider pretending I'm not home. But they've surely seen the lights, heard my movements. I inhale deeply and unlock the door. Barbara. My mother doesn't wait for an invitation. She pushes past me into my apartment, Dad and Veronica following like an invasion force. "What are you doing here?" I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. Mom surveys my living room with critical eyes. "You've made us a laughingstock in the family." Dad steps forward, his arms crossed. "After everything we've done for you." Veronica dabs at dry eyes with a tissue. The children were devastated. They kept asking where Aunt Barbara was. "Do you know how humiliating it was?" Mom continues. "Everyone arriving to find no food prepared, having to order pizza on Christmas Day?" I close the door slowly, gathering strength from the solid wood beneath my fingers. "I canceled the catering and told you I wouldn't be attending. You had plenty of notice." "Notice?" Dad's face reddens. "You can't just cancel Christmas with your family." "I saw what Veronica posted on Facebook," I say quietly. "About having a successful sister but eating leftovers for Christmas." Veronica's theatrical tears vanish instantly. "Well, you embarrassed us." Friends I haven't spoken to in years texted me, worried about what was happening. I continue. "Apparently the entire extended family has been discussing my selfishness online." "Because it was selfish," Mom says. "Family comes first, Barbara. Always." I feel something shift inside me, like tectonic plates realigning. I stand straighter, no longer trying to make myself small. "This isn't help," I say, my voice clear. "This is using me." Mom gasps as if I've slapped her. "You drop off children without asking if I'm available. You volunteer me to pay thousands for Christmas dinner without consulting me. You plan to make me babysit 9 children while everyone else enjoyed the holiday." Each statement lands like a stone between us. "How did you—" Mom starts. "I heard you on the phone that day I came by to discuss menu options. You didn't know I was there." A flash of recognition crosses her face, quickly replaced by indignation. "We're family!" she nearly shouts. "Family helps each other." "Family respects each other," I counter. "Family asks. Family appreciates." Veronica scoffs. "Listen to yourself. So high and mighty now." "Where were you even on Christmas?" Dad demands. "With friends. In Utah." "Friends," Mom repeats like it's a foreign concept, "while your real family suffered." "When was the last time any of you asked about my life? My work? My happiness?" The questions hang in the air, unanswered. Dad steps forward, his height meant to intimidate. "If you can't be there for your family, maybe you shouldn't be part of it." The words are meant to be the ultimate threat, the nuclear option to bring me back in line. 2 weeks ago, they would have worked. I would have apologized, written another check, babysat more children. But now I just feel tired, and certain. "If that's what you want," I say quietly. Mom's mouth opens, closes. This isn't the script she expected. She glances at Dad, whose certainty wavers slightly. Veronica, never one to miss a dramatic moment, delivers her parting shot. "Enjoy your empty apartment and your selfish life." I walk to the door and open it wide. "I think it's time for you to leave." They file out, Mom pausing at the threshold. For a moment, I see something in her eyes, confusion. Perhaps that her reliable puppet now moves without her strings. The door closes with a soft click that feels louder than a slam. In the sudden silence of my apartment, I notice the winter sunlight streaming through my windows, catching on the new photos from Utah. I touch the frame again, remembering Tom's laughter as we built that snowman. My phone chimes with another text. Not from my family, but from Jasmine. "Dinner at our place tonight?" "Tom's bringing dessert." I type back yes, and feel the weight of old obligations falling away, replaced by connections I've chosen freely. Outside my window, Denver continues its winter day. And inside, for perhaps the first time, I'm breathing without the constant pressure of family expectations compressing my chest. I wake to sunlight streaming through curtains. I've replaced soft cream instead of the heavy burgundy that made my apartment feel like a cave. 2 months have passed since the Christmas confrontation, and my space has transformed along with me. The walls now display photos from a ski weekend with Tom last month, both of us laughing with snow dusting our hair. My bedroom door is open, offering a clear view to the calendar hanging in my kitchen. February blooms with colorful ink markings, Cooking class Tuesday, museum exhibit with Jasmine Thursday, weekend hike with Tom's friends. The word babysitting appears nowhere on those pages. I run my fingertips along the smooth wood of my nightstand, savoring the unusual sensation of waking without dread. My phone chimes with a text from Tom. "Still on for dinner tonight?" I smile at the screen, looking forward to it. I type back. No demands, no obligations disguised as requests, just simple connection. Later that morning, I stride through the office corridors with a confidence that still occasionally surprises me. The data spreadsheets on my monitor reflect patterns I've identified in patient care metrics, a breakthrough that could potentially save the hospital thousands. "Barbara?" My boss Diane appears at my cubicle entrance, her usual businesslike expression softened with something like respect. "That healthcare analysis was brilliant. We're using your model for the quarterly presentation." "Thank you," I say, the words coming easily now. "We're considering you for the team lead position," she continues, eyebrows raised slightly. "Would you be interested?" 3 months ago, I would have hesitated, calculating how team leadership would affect my availability for Veronica's emergencies or Mom's impromptu family gatherings. Today, I nod without that mental calculus. Very interested. I have some ideas for the Watson project I'd like to implement. After Diane leaves, Kevin from accounting leans over from the neighboring desk. "You've been different lately, more confident?" he observes, tapping his pen against his coffee mug. "Did something change?" I consider my response for a moment, remembering Gloria's stunned expression when I showed her to the door that January afternoon. I finally created some boundaries. Kevin nods, as though this explains everything. Perhaps it does. The coffee shop where Tom and I meet feels warm against the February chill outside. Steam rises from my vanilla latte, curling into the space between us as we talk. His blue eyes crinkle at the corners when he laughs at my story about the office vending machine eating my dollar. "You should have seen Kevin trying to rock it loose," I say, gesturing with my hands, like a man wrestling an oak tree. Tom's laughter comes easily, without calculation. The afternoon sun highlights auburn strands in his brown hair, and I feel a flutter of contentment. His hand rests near mine on the table, our fingers occasionally brushing. "My parents are visiting next weekend," he says, looking slightly nervous. "They'd love to meet you." The words hang in the air. An invitation, not a demand. The stark difference between this and my biological family's expectations makes my chest tighten momentarily. "They're staying at the Hilton downtown," Tom continues. "Just dinner, nothing fancy, but only if you want to." I hesitate, memories of family obligations clouding my thoughts for a moment. But Tom's eyes hold no manipulation, no hidden agenda. Just hope. "I'd like that," I finally say, and mean it. When I return to my apartment, I find an envelope in my mailbox. Gloria's handwriting. My stomach tightens as I carry it upstairs, letting it sit on my counter while I change clothes. Finally, I slide a finger under the flap. The letter inside is tear-stained, the ink blurring in spots. Gloria's apology feels raw, vulnerable in a way she's never shown before. "I never realized how much we took from you," she writes. "Veronica and I have talked about it. We were wrong." I read it 3 times, neither immediately forgiving nor dismissing the words. The Gloria I knew would never admit fault. Perhaps she's changing too. My phone buzzes with a text from Veronica. "The kids miss you." I stare at the screen, the simple words carrying layers of meaning. I miss Ethan's gap-toothed smile, Lila's endless questions about butterflies. But missing them doesn't erase what happened. I miss them too. I type back, choosing each word carefully. But things need to change before I can be involved again. That evening, I sit at my desk and begin writing my own letter. The words come slowly at first, then faster as I outline clear terms. No more unplanned babysitting, no financial expectations, respect for my time. I acknowledge they may never fully understand my perspective, and that's okay. My closing line flows from somewhere deep inside. "I will always love you, but I've learned to love myself too." I seal the envelope, addressing it to my parents' home, where I know they'll share it with Veronica. Tomorrow I'll mail it, another step in this new journey. My reflection in the window looks back at me still Barbara, but finally becoming the woman I was meant to be. I raise my water glass, joining the celebration as Jasmine stands to propose a toast. The restaurant's soft lighting catches in her earrings as she grins at me. "To boundaries and the courage to set them," she announces, her voice carrying over our corner table, and to Barbara's well-deserved promotion. Our glasses clink together, and I feel a warmth spreading through my chest that has nothing to do with alcohol. 1 year has transformed everything. Tom squeezes my hand under the table, his steady presence a reminder of how much has changed. The wall behind my desk at work now holds snapshots of a life I never imagined possible. A weekend painting class where I discovered a talent for watercolors, a hiking trip where I conquered my fear of heights, and dinner with Tom's parents who welcomed me without expectations. The photos show something I hadn't realized was missing before: my genuine smile, relaxed and confident. Last Tuesday, I met Ethan and Lila at Jefferson Park. They raced toward me across the playground, their winter coats flapping open despite the February chill. "Aunt Barb," Lila shouted, launching herself at my legs. "We missed you so much." I hugged them both, breathing in the familiar scent of the strawberry shampoo Veronica still uses for their hair. Something tightened in my chest, love without the weight of resentment. When Veronica started to ask about last-minute Saturday plans, the old Barbara would have automatically said, yes. Instead, I heard myself say, "I'd love to see them again. Let's schedule it 2 weeks in advance." A pause followed, tense, uncertain. Then Veronica nodded. "That works. I'll text you some dates." Progress feels like small victories. Yesterday, Gloria and I met for coffee downtown. The tension between us hasn't disappeared, but it's lessened. She stirred her cappuccino, avoiding my eyes. "We took you for granted," she said finally, the words seeming to cost her. "Yes, you did." I kept my voice gentle but didn't soften the truth. Her eyes darted up to meet mine, and I saw something new there. Respect, perhaps. We're building something different now, this mother and daughter, something honest. Tonight, Christmas lights twinkle on the small tree in my apartment. I've hung ornaments that mean something to me: a tiny easel from my painting class, a miniature hiking boot from Tom, a delicate glass star from Jasmine and Mark. Ethan and Lila visited earlier, staying for the promised 2 hours while we baked cookies shaped like snowmen. When Veronica picked them up on time, she handed me a small wrapped package. "From Mom," she said. No strings attached. My phone buzzes with a text from Gloria. "Merry Christmas. We miss you but respect your choice." Later, Tom brings me hot chocolate on the balcony. Snowflakes drift lazily past the railing, melting when they touch the warm cup in my hands. Denver spreads below us, city lights blurring in the gentle snowfall. "Family doesn't mean you must sacrifice your freedom or happiness just to be their servant," I tell him softly. His hand covers mine, warm and solid. "You taught me what healthy boundaries look like," he says. I look up at the stars, barely visible through the falling snow, and know with sudden clarity, sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to say no. Tomorrow we'll walk through the fresh snow together. My phone will show a new message from Gloria about Easter dinner, an invitation without demands. And I'll smile, neither immediately accepting nor rejecting. Now, I have the power to choose.